In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can go on vacation and still lose weight, or in other words, reduce body fat. My name is Ben, I'm a PA, and I share tips and strategies about health and nutrition, including intermittent fasting. So a few years ago, I went on a vacation to Mexico. But before I went on that vacation, I had already joined this thing. It's called DietBet. It's a thing where you kind of sign up and you pay some money and you have 4 weeks to lose 4% of your body weight. And then if you don't do it, you don't get your money back. And so you have this incentive to make sure you do it. So you can at least get your money back. And then you usually get a little bit more because you kind of split the pot of the other people that maybe didn't quite succeed. So anyway, I was doing this DietBet thing and I had a vacation planned right at the end of it. So basically, I went on this vacation to Mexico for about a week and I had to lose a few pounds while I was on vacation. So I was like, oh, okay. Because usually when I go on vacation, obviously I might be indulging and figure I'd probably gain a couple pounds or whatever. And then it balances out once I get back to some healthier habits or whatnot afterwards. But in this case, I knew I had to lose weight on vacation. So I had to come up with a plan or a strategy. So what I did was I was staying at an Airbnb, and so it's not like there was food included or anything. And so what I did was I just didn't eat breakfast at all. And then I had one main meal. I love Mexican food. I love tacos. And so that one main meal, I did it around lunchtime usually. And so I would go and I would order a bunch of tacos. So I'd have 5 tacos with a bunch of fixings, a bunch of condiments, and just really enjoy it. And so I ate slowly, I savored my food, and I just really enjoyed that one meal. And then a few hours later, maybe 4 or 5 hours later, I would eat one more thing that day, but it would be kind of smallish. So I'd have an avocado, for example, which were plentiful there. I was able to buy an avocado at just one of the local markets or whatever. By the way, I was in the Cancun area. I think I forgot to mention that on my Mexico vacation. But I'd have either an avocado or sometimes I would just have some fruit. I'd buy some dragon fruit, for example, a pretty good amount, but just something that's not a full meal really. So that's what I would do every day. And because I had that nice big full meal and then the other type of food a few hours later to tide me over, I didn't really get hungry that much, and it was fairly easy. And so after a few days, when it was time to weigh in for my diet bet, I was able to do it. I had lost a few pounds. I weighed in and, got confirmed and everything was good. And so I didn't lose my money in the diet bet. And then I finished the vacation a day later and went home. So that was my story, and it kind of forced me to come up with a strategy. So I have a few tips for you about how to go on vacation and still be able to lose weight. So tip number 1, which you may have already deduced from the story because I mentioned it there, is don't eat breakfast. Just skip breakfast. Now, if you travel like me and you stay in places like an Airbnb, for example, then there's no breakfast provided. I know some people stay in an all-inclusive resort or be visiting family and they're serving breakfast, so that's a little different, and so you have to think twice about this. But you might want to plan your travel in such a way where there is no breakfast provided. And then it's easy to skip breakfast. And skipping breakfast is good because it saves you time. It's very convenient. You don't have to rush out early in the morning to find food or anything. And then it allows you to stay in fat burning mode longer, starting the night before, all through the night into that morning. You're able to keep your insulin low and able to keep burning fat. So it's convenient. It's a win-win-win, basically, to skip breakfast. You save time, you save money, and you can keep burning fat. So that's tip number 1, and usually works pretty well on vacation. But again, it depends on kind of how you plan your vacation, so you'll have to think about that. So tip number 2 is basically plan on one big meal, one significant meal, one full meal that you're really going to enjoy. And when I say you're really going to enjoy it, you're going to eat slowly. You're going to savor the food. You're going to chew it slowly because this is the one exciting, fun meal where you get to eat some of the local cuisine or whatever it is, like in my case, the tacos in Mexico, which were really good, by the way. And I did enjoy it a lot, and I still lost weight on that trip. So that's tip number 2 is just really focus on that one satisfying meal and kind of really make the most of it. In other words, it doesn't mean you have to stuff yourself until you're uncomfortable, but just eat until you're nice and full and really enjoy the food. Eat mindfully, really focus on the food and really enjoy it. Tip number 3 is to fast on your travel days. So in other words, there's often, if you go on a vacation somewhere, there's often a day or 2 or 3 where you're spending most of the day on an airplane, in the airport. And so those are a perfect day to just fast the whole day. In other words, when you're in the airport, if you get any food, it's like really overpriced. So you may as well skip that. And they might serve food on your airplane, but that's usually not that good anyway. So it's kind of a perfect day to do a 24-hour fast or maybe a 36-hour fast where you basically fast the whole day. And I do that quite a bit when I go on trips. And what it allows me to do is basically balance things out, right? Because I get in those couple days of fasting on the vacation, like a full day of fasting, and then it kind of balances out with some of the extra indulgence and things that are happening on the vacation itself. So those are the 3 tips, and here's a quick bonus tip. This part's easy for me because I actually don't drink alcohol. But the bonus tip is to either just don't drink any alcohol or to just kind of limit or reduce the amount of that you're doing. Because of course, in general, alcoholic drinks are usually very sugary. And even if they're not, they still might contribute a little bit to weight gain and other issues. So that's something that you want to kind of either limit or either avoid completely or kind of limit it to maybe like a shorter amount of time or less total drinks per day or whatever. It would be another way to help you lose weight while you're on vacation. Since we're talking about weight loss, I have a couple other videos that I'd recommend for you. In this video, I talk about whether exercise actually helps you lose weight or not, and kind of what you need to know about that to put it in perspective. And in this video, I talk about whether counting calories is a good idea. Spoiler alert, it's not a good idea to count calories if you're trying to lose weight. But I explain all the reasons here and why fasting works better for weight loss. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.